Clubbers, it is Demo Donna here with Sparkle and Sprinkle, and I want to give a big shout out to all you new Video Kit Clubbers. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoy it and look forward to all the goodies that you start receiving here once a month from Sparkle and Sprinkle. This month's Video Kit Club, the June Video Kit Club, we are going to be making these 2 gems, so you get enough for 5 cards. You're going to be doing 3 of the large butterfly. Isn't that so pretty? And that's with our detailed embossing powders. And you're going to be making 2 of these bad boys with the small butterflies. And you can see when the light hits that, you're going to also be receiving a shimmer pen and this die. So we are going to be playing with the Nuvo Aqua Shimmer. And you're also going to be receiving this really cool Happy Birthday die and this gorgeous stamp set. See, it says it right there, gorgeous stamp set by Sparkle and Sprinkle. And what's really fun is you've got these solid stamp outs and the detail. You also are gonna get the 3 detail embossing powders. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this, and don't forget to comment below and subscribe. Here is our beautiful butterfly birthday card that we are going to be creating for the June Video Kit Club. And that is an embossing technique that I'm going to show you. And I'm going to also show you this trick with the double layering of the die. So to get started, I am going to, oh, by the way, you have the cute little version that you could do with the 2 butterflies. So you have 4 of these small ones sent to you, and then you have 3 of these larger ones. So you can do 2 of these cards and 3 of these. But you can obviously get the cut files from Sparkle and Sprinkle if you would like to make more. Okay, so you are going to be receiving silver and gold mirrored cardstock, hello, in your kit. So a trick with the mirrored cardstock, this is going to be your die here, and all of these invite insert sets come with 2, which is great because then that gives you a lot more flexibility, and you can layer like what we're going to do here with the background as well as the mirrored cardstock. So the frame is what cuts out the die. So what you're going to do when you use your mirrored cardstock, you always want to make sure that you cut a piece very close in size to what you are die cutting, because if you run a big piece through here, all of this is going to have all of those little cut marks on your plate. It's going to pick that up. So that's a very important trick to keep in mind when you are using mirrored cardstock. And then I would just simply take some removable tape, tape that on, and then run that through your die cut machine. So you get a nice cutout just like this for your happy birthday on the mirrored cardstock. And then to create this look, all you do is get rid of that frame. So I'm going to grab a piece of the red cardstock that you're going to get in your kit, and I just line that up. Once again, take a little piece of removable tape, stick that on, run that through my die cut machine, and now I have this. So those are the 2 different ways to cut out your die in your video kit this month. And the nice thing about all of these dies is you can mix and match all the frames. So if you pick up a couple more than these, it's fun to like intermix the frames with the cool little die that you get. All right, so once you have these pre-cut, you are ready to go. So we are gonna start out with doing our beautiful butterfly and this embossing technique. And you are getting these 3 amazing detail embossing powders, which I absolutely love. And we are going to start with using this, the silhouette part of our large butterfly. So I'm going to take my Versamark and I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to take my butterfly. We'll get this guy started first, actually. So this is the larger one. You can see right away the difference, and the smaller one. And I'm going to take my little static free bag. Now this is important, especially when you're doing this many steps, just to make sure that you get your, and these are really dark colors on white paper, so I definitely recommend, if you've never used the static free bag before, to try that out. I'm going to actually do this on my table so my coffee filter doesn't curl up. So ink that up with Versamark. So there's my stamp silhouette inked up with my Versamark. And now I am going to just place this down. Now I do have I'm going to get in here, make sure I'm right over that. I have a positioner and I absolutely love it. And it is the one from Tonic Studios by Tim Holtz. And it's a lot of fun and I've been using it a lot. But for this technique, you might as well use your blocks because you have to use 2 different stamps and this piece needs to come off, be embossed. So it makes more sense for this technique to use your blocks. And these are the new acrylic blocks with the grids on them by Tonic Studios, which are really awesome. I love them. So check those out if you're looking for a new block. Now, when designing this card, I played with a lot of different color combinations. And the reason I went with these 3 is because that yellow in the middle really helps blend that red and that blue together. So what you're gonna do is start with your red apple and then work your way out. So this is a beautiful detail embossing powder. And I'm going to just simply hold my little butterfly. And I'm trying not to touch this with my fingertips because A, I don't want Versamark on my fingers. And B, if I do have any, I don't want to smear it on my butterfly. So I'm going to start pouring from the center. And it's going to kind of splatter, which is that look that you're going for. So tap that off. Now I've got a little bit more red on this side than I do on the other side. So just pick up your embossing powder again and give it a little extra. Just like that. Look at, I'm totally not trying to completely even it out at all. Okay, then I'm going to take my coffee filter and put my red back. Now this technique where you're using more than one embossing powder is called batik embossing. And when I do batik embossing, I really like to use my embossing powders from the same family. So these 3 embossing powders are all detail powders. So now I'm going to take the daffodil and I am just going to pour, and I did a little bit on my sample one and I did a little bit more on another one that I did, and I like just a little bit of the yellow. So I'm going to go very lightly this time. Just like that. So all of my red is touching some yellow embossing powder. Put that, actually, I'm not going to put this back. I've got a little area over there with my yellow because it's already got some red specks in it and I don't want to contaminate my daffodil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that. So when I'm making all my cards with this, I would just keep reusing that same bit of yellow in it that might have some red specks in it. And then last, you're going to take your blue ribbon, which is another detail embossing powder and very beautiful. And what I'm going to do is just finish that up. So I'm kind of overlapping the yellow, so if there's any holes, it gets covered up with the blue ribbon. Sprinkle that on, give that a little tap, and now I'm going to heat set. And now once again, this is a little contaminated, so I'm going to go and pour that with my other blue ribbon that I was using to make my samples. So now I'm going to take my tweezer tool and I am going to heat set. Make sure there's no little stubborn specks of embossing powder. If you do happen to have some, just simply take that off with the dry brush. And now I'm going to heat set. Once you've completed heat setting, let that cool for just a second. And look at how beautiful that is. It even looks pretty if you were going to use this like in a background. You can just use it like this without doing the detail. So, a lot of options here. Now I'm going to take my solid image. So in the beginning we stamped with the silhouette. Now, sorry, I said solid. This is the solid. Now I'm going to take my detail stamp and I'm going to Versamark that again as well. Once this is cool, you're going to take your static free bag again and go over your already embossed butterfly. Okay, so now I've got my camera like right in my face, so it's a little difficult for me to go directly on top to make sure I'm lining this up. So I'm going to scooch it over just a little bit. And I am just making sure I am masking all of the color and I can't see it. So once I can't see any of the embossed already, then I'm going to go ahead and stamp. And I stamped it a little crooked when I did the first one, but they're butterflies, so I'm okay with that. So I made sure that was over to the side too. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I just roll with the punches when I make a mistake, and you should too. We're making cards here. We can handle it. All right, I'm going to add my black embossing powder. You can use black or black detail. There is no black in the kit because we assume most of you at this point have black embossing powder. If you don't, you can always add that. Now I've got a couple little specks. I'm just going to go ahead and blow on this before I heat set it. So I just blew all those little specks off. And now I'm going to take my heat tool again and heat set. Okay, and there is my butterfly. Now you can obviously mix up the colors, do different order. You can do blue in the middle, or you can do yellow in the middle. What I did with the smaller ones is I just kept it to 2 colors. So I did yellow in the middle of the both, and then red here and the blue here. So it's a lot of fun to mix and match and play around. So what we are going to do next is we're going to add some shimmer. And we are going to add an optional step, which is if you have the materials, you can do it, or you can add them to your order if you'd like to. But I am going to take, first of all, what you are getting in your set is the aqua shimmer, which is really fun. And just like on the watercolors before, when you first receive these, there's a bright yellow little spacer in here. You're gonna peel that, whoops, I took the wrong thing off. Just kidding. Okay, there we go. You're gonna pop that out, which is right here. Pop that out. Tighten that in. And then you're good to go. I don't know why I put the lid back on. Okay, so now that I've got my shimmer brush ready to go, I am just going to add around the edges of my butterfly, and I'm hitting the cardstock. If it gets on your embossed design, it really doesn't matter. It's kind of going to just bead up and you'll be able to rub that off. So I just added to the edges a really light shimmer, very light. So very pretty, and butterflies have that really natural, beautiful shimmer. And then I'm going to add a little shimmer to my happy birthday, not the edges, just to the actual writing. And I'm just kind of scribbling that on. And it's really nice in person. I don't know how much you could see of it on the video. There, I can kind of see the light hitting that shimmer, which is really fun. Okay, we're gonna let this dry, and then we are gonna come back to our butterfly. Now, as you can see, right in here, the center of the butterfly, it's kind of spotty, so it's not really solid black. So you do have a couple of options. You can use your Versamark pen, which is this guy here, and you can just draw a line over that center, add some more black embossing powder and heat set. Or you can use your dimensional glue, or I'm going to use the Nuvo glue. This is one of their new glues, which is really fun, and I'm going to use this to assemble my entire card. So since I have this out and I'm using it, I am going to use it for the center here. Now this isn't as thick as our dimensional glue, so majority of the time I'm going to be using my dimensional glue for dots or adding any dimension. But for this project, since like I said, I'm going to be using the new glue to assemble my card entirely, I just wanted to show you the versatility of it. It also dries a little tacky versus our dimensional glue, which does not dry tacky at all. So that's also a good little feature to know about. All right, so I now added that dimensional glittery center to the middle of my butterfly, which really completes the look. So we're gonna set that aside and let that dry and assemble the rest of our card. And that was the black ice glitter. And if you don't already have black ice, I definitely recommend that, because that is a really fun technique to do for the centers of all sorts of things. Dog noses, shoes, butterflies, flowers. Okay, so you are going to be receiving a combination, all these papers, you're going to be getting 3 of the blue, 3 of the yellow, and 3 of the red. So you can also play around with the order that you use them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this layout, and I am going to first glue my mirror cardstock Happy Birthday. And the nice thing about this craft glue is it has a really fine tip, just like your crystal drops. Thank you. Really, I can't believe crystal drops, which I say all the time, just left my brain, but now I will never forget it ever. All right, so this is the same tip as the crystal drops, which is great because I'm just putting on, I'm not even really squeezing. There's just I'm barely squeezing, just a little drip of glue on. And it's nice because this is a really thin line down here. So using another adhesive might be a little difficult, but because this has this super fine tip, it makes your life nice and easy. So I am now going to attach my Happy Birthday, and I want it just off to the side a little bit so you can see the red Happy Birthday behind it. So see there, it's got like a little bit of a shadow, and you're able to do that because that die comes separated. So because I can cut it out in a frame and as part of the card, it's really cool. It's a big plus. All right, now that this is done, I'm going to go ahead and create my little ripped paper look. And I like to do different up and down variations in it to give it a lot of movement. So just like that, you're done. Now don't throw this away because you can keep using this for your next card. And then I'm going to add my yellow next. Now you can layer them like this, where you can see the yellow through, or what I did, because I really love that aqua color in the back, is I just raised my yellow up, and now when I'm doing my rip, I'm just going to go up about 1/4 of an inch above it so you get that nice layered paper look. And then really simple, I am just going to scribble a little glue and stick that on just like that. Fantastic. And then I took my shimmer pen again, and I'm just going over these like frayed edges to pick up some of that shimmer. What's really nice too about the adhesive that I'm using is it doesn't bow your paper. All right, now to adhere this, I'm just take my glue again and just scribble. Now obviously I'm a huge lover of Terrific tape, but for super paper cards like this, I have found that using a craft glue for especially delicate parts like this was really fun and kind of sped things up a little bit. So all done with that. And now I'm just going to stick that on there. The nice thing is you can also move it a little bit. Just like that, and it dries clear. So I've got a little adhesive in my background, but we won't see that once it's nice and dry. And now I'm going to stick this onto my cardstock. to my card base. Oh look, I didn't trim this. That's so fun. So I will pop this off and trim it. So it looks like this one. Once again, a fun moment where you get to see the live mess up version. Ha ha ha. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take my little butterfly and I'm gonna add some glue to the back. Stick that down. And voila, we are all done. So here are the two beautiful card versions, and obviously you get 5 in the kit. Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun designing and playing with this. And make sure you come back to the website to check out all the new stamp releases for June. There are some really beautiful ones. There are also some great ones in May. So if you haven't checked that out, go back and check that out. Don't forget to subscribe and comment below if you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.